Sonic's fanbase is weird, and I say that as someone who only started recently getting into it. Sonic is known by nearly everyone at this point. Sure, those in the fanbase know about the lore and the songs and Maria, but everyone still knows about Sonic and how he's a fast blue rat from the 90s. He's been to the Olympics with Mario, been to space a couple of times, what I can only describe as Tron but with better graphics. There was even a time he could have prevented the moon from blowing up. I mean, he failed, the moon still looked weird, but hey, you know, can't be perfect. With so much popularity, it only makes sense that Sega would eventually start branching out into giving him his own movie. We all remember our first look at Sonic years ago. I won't scare you with the original design. Okay, real quick.
Look at this! I took 9 million steps today.
When Sonic came out in 2020, I feel like Sega was trying to play it safe. This story is surprisingly simple. Sonic comes to Earth, learns more about what it means to be part of a family, while Dr. Robotnik tries to capture him and study him. That's it, Sonic defeats him, credits roll. Not a whole lot can be said about this film from a Hollywood lens, but that's because it was trying to just be a fun movie for everyone to enjoy. There were references to the games, including some obscure ones no one's thought about for ages. And the jokes were fine. I rewatched it before making this script, and some still land, while others are definitely starting to show their age. Overall, it was a fine enough time. Easily my favorite of the three, and don't worry, we're getting there. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Sonic 2 felt like it was quickly announced afterwards, which was expected after the first one did really well at the box office. Now, I should mention for those who haven't seen the films, following the first one, you're not watching these movies because you want an Oscar-worthy performance. You're going for Sonic. You're going because you like the games or the characters themselves. Sonic 2 felt a lot more fun than the first because it understood that. In this film, Sonic and the gang go around the world trying to find the Master Emerald and stop Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles this time from getting it. Again, a relatively simple premise, but the humor here seemed more aligned to Sonic. This film also had a lot more love poured into it thanks to the inclusion of more characters and references, but it also felt like it went on for much longer than it needed to. Some scenes could have easily been cut without any changes to the story happening, but that's just personal nitpicking at this point. This film actually seemed to do much better with audiences than the first, receiving even higher scores. It's a fun time, but nothing groundbreaking for general audiences. 6 out of 10. Alright, now the reason I'm making this video in the first place. Sonic 3 is easily the most action-packed, creative, and visually stunning of the three, hands down. The acting was great, and the comedy was actually funny here and there. Jim Carrey does a fantastic job playing the Dr. Robotniks, and is just wonderful to see acting again. The story is also much more in-depth than I was expecting. We learn more about Shadow's background, Dr. Robotnik's family, and Sonic's views of the world around him. And I had a great time watching it. Okay, here's the problem. Sonic 1 is a film I think anyone could watch and it would be fine. Sonic 2, maybe it drags, but it's still passable. Sonic 3 really comes from the games. The story of Maria, I already knew what would happen because of the games. The jokes that were good were fantastic, and the ones that weren't really fell flat. And I might get some slack for this comment, so let me just say this real quick. This video is my opinion. I don't think anyone did necessarily a bad job, I just think that there were others who could have done better. Your opinion might be different from mine, and that's okay. Alright, we're good on that? Good. I don't think Keanu Reeves should have played Shadow. You said you weren't gonna get mad! Shadow as a character is really fun to see. When he was on screen, it was a great time. They gave him a motorcycle, a gun a couple of times, Heelys. He was true to his character. But the voice and the delivery, it didn't work for me.
I don't look like you. You look like me. Why do you look like me?
Keanu has a very identifiable voice, and I think that's the problem. When I hear his voice, I can't help but think about how I haven't seen John Wick yet, and how I should because everyone loves them. Meanwhile, he's on the moon with Sonic. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. He's done a ton of work. Even in this film, I thought he did fine, but he just doesn't scream Shadow to me. I'm honestly not sure who I'd recast the film to have, but maybe someone who's not an A-list actor. I'd rather see someone who's more in line with the Shadow character than anything else. My friend and I also talked about how while we did enjoy the movie, we wouldn't have as much without how much we were making fun of it. Looking at it from an outsider's point of view, we left giving it about a 6 out of 10. It was fine, there were some scenes we would have changed, but it was another harmless film. My other friend, who we dragged with us to see it, he gave it a 1. But clearly it's just because he doesn't understand the Sonic lore. It's, pretty complex. So with all of that out of the way, are the Sonic films the perfect trilogy? No, not by a long shot. They will age poorly more and more as time goes on. But did I have a good time watching them? For the most part, yeah, more than I thought I would. And that's what these films should be. They don't need to be groundbreaking and they don't need to change the face of Hollywood. They just need to be true to themselves. If you haven't seen any of these films, they're all definitely worth a watch, especially Sonic 3. Now, that's just what I thought about the Sonic trilogy, but what about you? Which is your favorite Sonic film? Let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video, and remember to chase the chaos.